Good morning. I just want to say good job working on your dots last week. I really love seeing you all make your mark. Even when we are not with each other, it was really touching, and I just want to say I appreciate you. This week, in your regular ed classrooms with your teacher, you've been talking about Native Americans or maybe symbols in North Carolina if you're in 4th grade. But this week we're going to be talking about symbols that Native Americans might use, and one specific Native American culture we're going to be looking at is the Pacific Northwest, and that's towards the other side of the world, like Oregon and Washington and even California. And so we're going to be looking at a story called The Raven. If you didn't click above this assignment link, this is where we're going to read that story. If you want to read that story with me, you totally can. If you just want to do this project, that's fine too. But in this story, there are lots of symbols that the Pacific Northwestern tribes, Native American tribes, have in their culture. And so one of those is a totem pole. So we're going to be making our own totem pole this week, and it's going to be super fun. Totem poles are typically made out of wood, carved wood. And I really love them because they're symmetrical. They're the same on both sides. And our totem pole is going to be a piece of paper, but you're going to end up being able to tape it if you want to. You don't have to, but you could, and create your own totem pole. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. I hope that you have fun with this lesson, and I can't wait to see what you create. Let's get started. For this project, you'll need some paper, whether it's white or brown. You'll need a pencil and an eraser, and you will need some crayons. You're also going to need some heart to put into your art. Go ahead and hit that pause button and gather your materials. First step is always the same. Pick up your pencil and write your name, because no name, no fame. Then you can go ahead and flip your paper like a pancake. The first thing we're going to be doing is holding our paper the tall way. We call this the vertical way, and we're going to be folding it in half. I think you guys call this the hot dog way. You're going to be folding it in half, making a line in the middle. That line is going to serve as our line of symmetry. So you've got an invisible line where your fold is now, right in the middle. Put your paper aside, but in your sketchbook, this might be a good idea to think about 3 animals that would describe who you are as a person. I know that sounds kind of silly, but think about symbols that would describe who you are, because this is what the Native American culture did. They would think of things that represented them. So you might do a lion, and a lion would symbolize that you are brave. So maybe think of things like words. Maybe you're funny, and something that could symbolize funny. They don't necessarily have to be animals for our totem pole. We don't really have rules. Maybe if your family really loves the Tar Heels, you could do the ram as one of your symbols. But just think about 3 different symbols or animals that could represent you. Once you have your 3 symbols, you're going to kind of start in the middle and work your way out. There's really no right or wrong way how to do this, but I'm going to start. And we're only going to be drawing half of the symbol that we have, because this is going to be a trick, an artist trick. And if you just trust me, I promise that it's going to make your life a little bit easier. But we're only going to draw half of the symbol. So I'm going to start by drawing a tiger. The reason I'm choosing a tiger is because I am a Mount Pleasant tiger. So this might be a good symbol for you to use too. But the trick is we're only drawing half, because what's going to happen is we're going to use a transfer method, where the other side of our paper, once we fold it, will appear, and we can just trace it. So just draw one side. It's kind of hard, kind of tricky, but I know you're up for this challenge. Alright, the next animal I'm going to do it on top of my tiger's head, is going to be a cardinal. And the reason I'm choosing a cardinal is because I'm from North Carolina, and the cardinal is the symbol for our state bird. And so I'm going to be drawing a cardinal. I'm just using curved lines. There's really no right or wrong way to make a totem pole. You can kind of use your imagination, but I'm just using basic shapes. When I color, it'll be really nice. The one thing you do want to keep in mind is to make sure your symbols are sitting on top of each other, like they are a real totem pole. You can see a real totem pole here. The third symbol I'm going to do is a butterfly. A butterfly to me symbolizes new life. And I just love the way that they are in this world, how beautiful they fly, and how they are a creation. So I am going to choose a butterfly for my third symbol. Remember, I'm only drawing half. I'm going to make my tiger have a body, adding some zigzags for a fur, so it looks like my butterfly is actually sitting on top of him. You can do the same. Next part, you're going to need a black crayon or a crayon that's rather dark. So a dark brown would work also, but it's going to need to transfer. So you're only going to outline your one half of your drawing, drawing next to that crease, right, that we folded. And so we're going to just take our black crayon and we're going to use heavy application. That means I'm bearing down pretty hard as I trace over my drawing. The reason we want to bear down hard is because we want some of that crayon, when we fold our paper and rub, to transfer to the left side of our paper. And that's going to create symmetry for us when we're drawing. So things are perfectly symmetrical like they are in a real Native American totem pole. Go ahead and start outlining your one side of your drawing with your black crayon. I just want to remind you that sometimes when you're using a crayon and you're using heavy application, meaning you're bearing down, your crayon can break. I just want to remind you to not get frustrated and to keep going, because broken crayons still color. See what I mean? Alright, now for the fun part. You're going to take your left side of your paper and you're going to fold it on top of your drawing, just like this. So now your drawing is on the inside of your paper. You're going to use a pencil or the side of a crayon or the side of a marker, and you're just going to rub as hard as you can using your muscles to transfer some of that other crayon on the other side. Don't rub your pencil or your marker too hard because you don't want to make a hole, but you do want to just kind of rub it so it transfers using those muscles. When you open up your paper, you're going to see lightly that your drawing has transferred onto the left side. If you have trouble seeing, you can fold it again and rub again until you can see it. Once you see it well enough to trace, go ahead and grab your crayon and trace your other side of your drawing. Sometimes when I'm tracing and things are a little bit light, I look to the right side of my paper to see how it's drawn. And if it's drawn in a certain way, then I'll just try to mimic it or mirror it on the other side. We really want these to be symmetrical because that is how totem poles are. They're the same symbols on each side. So go ahead and finish transferring. If you need to fold and rub again, you totally can do that. Your paper is not going to move. And then trace your drawing. Next part is really up to you, but you are going to color your symbols the way that you see them fit. So if a cardinal is red, I'm probably going to choose to color it red, but you could use Native American symbols. Go back and look in the Ravens pictures and see what kind of cool colors and designs that those Native American tribes used. Remember, whatever you create, try to take a short film or video and upload it onto Canvas so I can see your art creations. It helps me feel connected to you. And if you want to bend this and tape it at the end, you can, and make it into a tube. This would create a little totem pole for you to display for your family.